Well, our host tonight is Jasmine.
Hey, Phoebe.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Still kicking.
Thank you for being our first one-on-one guest.
Of course.
So can you give the people a little introduction about yourself?
Yes. So I'm Alkeiver Cannon. I go by Kiwi. I currently live in Columbia, South Carolina, and I am a PhD candidate at the University of South Carolina School of Medicine. I am getting my PhD in biomedical sciences, specifically in immunology and epigenetics.
Awesome. So can you tell us what it was like growing up as baby Kiwi?
So, baby Kiwi was bad. She was sassy, wasn't scared of anything. Like, my mom has told me stories all about how I was not. I mean, it sounds like me.
Yeah.
But, as I got a little older, like, school came easy to me. I was well behaved in school. Didn't really, didn't get my parents too much trouble. I grew up in the country. I'm Fredonia. We stayed at my great grandma's house most of the time. Like my parents are at work or something, like after school or over summers. So it's like all of our cousins just down there, doing what chaps do, playing around all day and fighting sometimes. Just cousin stuff. But all in all, I didn't really have a hard childhood or anything. Right. It was, pretty simple. It was cool.
Yeah. Can you specifically talk about high school and specifically your senior year?
So high school, so I always been, pretty independent, and my mom said sassy. But, I was, in a lot of leadership positions. I, did track and cross country and stuff. So I was involved. Still, school was coming very easy to me. Specifically senior year, I grew a lot, and I was more so focused on, getting out and getting into, like, the next stage of my life.
Right.
To me, that was, okay, I might be grown. Like, I might be an adult, might be out of my parents' house, going to college or whatever. So I was really just focusing on, like, applying to scholarships and keeping my grades up, staying involved. I did go through normal girl stuff, like, started worrying about little boys and whatever, silly stuff. But for the most part, it was, trying to get on through and get out.
Right.
So yeah, it was just getting to the next stage. I was focused on.
Right. How did you make the decision to attend USC?
So actually, I didn't want to go to USC at first. You let little Kiwi tell it. I was going to Alabama. Like, I was a Bama fan. I just knew that I was going to be in University of Alabama Honors College. Doing all of that, but it really came down to money. I ended up having a full scholarship to USC, and had I went out of state, I would have had to pay, out of state tuition. I would have lost, like, one of my big scholarships with Palmetto Fellows and stuff. So it really just came down to USC gave me money that I couldn't turn down, and I basically already knew the Columbia area and stuff. So it was cool. I was okay with it. So and even now I'm happy I ended up going to USC.
Oh yeah, that's good. Can you give one piece of encouragement for high school seniors?
I say just do what you got to do. Like, think about your plans. Think about, like, where you want to be. Because I know a lot of people wait until it's, almost time or it's senior year to actually start thinking about what to do. I would encourage you to start thinking about it before then. Because, I know a lot of people that could have went to college and stuff, but came down to it and they, hadn't been applying to scholarships, hadn't been submitting college applications. So, like, they ended up, just staying in Batesburg or staying wherever and just working and stuff. But, if you start to think about those things and think about where you want to be ahead of time, it doesn't, kind of jump all on you at once, and you're not kind of under that, okay, I got to do all this now, because you kind of plan for it. So, I say, do what you got to do, and that may mean, keeping your grades up, applying to, a bunch of scholarships, applying to college applications early, taking the SAT and ACT, just, make sure you keep your head on straight and, keep going, because, it gets better, and like the rest of your life is literally ahead of you. And one really important thing I would say is it's okay to not have everything all together. So yeah, you can plan, and yeah, you can do, everything that you can to try to get to that next stage. But it's okay if you don't know stuff. Just make sure that you are asking people for help. Right. Guidance counselors, people in the community, just wherever you can get help, like make sure that you are asking people for that help so they can help you get to that next stage, because it's a lot and it's hard to try to do it all by yourself, and you do need people to help you. Yeah,
that's one thing I wish I would have done like before senior year is apply for like a lot more scholarships, because I waited till like my senior year when everything was just piling out. So, can we talk a little bit about your college experience? What was USC like for you?
College experience awesome. Okay, it was lit. It was a roller coaster. It was a lot because it is the first time that you're really on your own. But I learned so much. I had a lot of fun. I grew a lot. I don't know, it was awesome. Like USC was cool. Yeah.
How did you choose your major?
So honestly, I ended up getting my degree in biochemistry and molecular biology, but I was not always a biochem major. I had been telling myself since I was a child that I wanted to be a pediatrician. I want to go to medical school, save the world type thing. And so I came in as a biology major. But like my first semester, and I took my first biology class, it was in the evening because I didn't like mornings. But I honestly skipped it most days. I was like really trying to get really involved, and so I was a part of this organization that met on like one of the days at the same time as one of my classes, and so I just went to that instead of going to class. And because I hated the class, I did not like it, and so I almost I barely passed that class that semester because I wasn't going. But that told me that you don't really like biology like that. I did also my chemistry class. I loved chemistry, so I did really good in there. And I had A in every other class except for that my biology class. So in my head at the time, I still wanted to be a pediatrician. So I wanted to still go to medical school. So I knew I needed some biology, but I loved chemistry. So in my head, I was okay, biochem. But it's not exactly just biology and chemistry, but in my head, that's what I told myself, and that's how I ended up as a biochem major.
Was it hard for you to make that transition from all your life you were like, I'm going to do this one thing, and then get to college and have to change your mind?
So at that point, it wasn't hard, just because most people change their majors in college. A lot of people don't say that, but the majority of people come in thinking they're going to do one thing and end up switching to something else. And so for me, I switched from one science to another science, and at the time, I still I was like, okay, I'm still going to medical school and stuff. But later on in my years, as other things started to happen, that's when I kind of okay, well, maybe medical school, MD program isn't the route for me, and that was hard. But I will say I'm grateful for the field I'm in. It's still related to the medical field, but it's not on the seeing patient side. It's kind of more behind the scenes. So it was a little rough at first, just to kind of fathom that, dang, you want to do this your entire life and you might not do it. But it all worked out. So
that's what happened to me too. When I went to college, I started off as a nursing major, and now I'm a teacher. So it's just two completely different things. But I always wanted to work with kids, so I was just I want to do something with kids, and I think that was hard for me to register at one point. And I was just I really wanted to do nursing. I really wanted to be a pediatric nurse. And I didn't want to be a teacher at all, and now I just love it. So
it all works out.
Exactly. I know you're a Delta, so can you tell me what being a Delta means to you?
So I love my organization, I would say. For me, before I even really knew what sorority life and fraternity life and stuff really was, I knew few women that were just on this stuff. I felt like they were always just working, trying to make people better, whether that's kids, whether that's in the community. They were just always working. And so they turned out to be Deltas. And so once I started to look into the organization and everything, I love that it was based on Christian principles, and real sisterhood, and it really kind of gives you the opportunity to be a part of something bigger than yourself. Because because like I said, like at USC, like I was involved in a lot of organizations and stuff, but for a lot of things, when you graduate, that's it.
Yeah.
But like being in a sorority and stuff is literally like a lifetime commitment. And so like since I graduated, I've joined the alumni chapter, so I'm still, you know, surrounded by like what I would say like-minded women who are educated, women who, you know, care about the Black community and care about uplifting the Black community, you know, care about serving, and stuff like that. So for me, like being a Delta is just awesome. Yeah. Sometimes it's still a little surreal. Like I'm one of those women. Yeah. But it's a lot of it's work. Like it's being committed to like doing the work to lift up our people. Right. And so like I love it.
Okay, yeah. Do you have one piece of advice to college students who feel discouraged?
I'll say remember why you started.
Yeah.
I know for me, like I've always wanted to like, you know, be educated and like go to the next stage and all of that. And so for me, it's kind of like a reminder of like what my goals are. Like, you know, I don't want to stay in South Carolina forever. I want to have a big house. I want to like, you know, own some stuff. I want to make some good money. And so for me, like all of those things kind of fit into like me finishing like my, you know, getting my degree and stuff, because I know in older generations and stuff, like it was okay for you to like, you know, have a high school diploma or something. Some people like, you know, not even have that, like, and you can still make a good living. But now like the workforce has kind of shifted where like if you want to work in like, you know, jobs where you're like making some, you know, good money, like you know, 6-figure salaries and stuff, like, or, you know, just, you know, good livable money. It's kind of like you need a bachelor's degree in a sense. And so I say like, you know, remember why you came here. Also still remember you are not grown, because I struggle with that a little bit. Like I was like, I'm on my own, like I can handle stuff, but like no, you still need help sometimes, and that is okay. It is okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask your parents for help sometimes. Like it's okay to not have it all, like have it all together. Like it's okay. Like college is about learning, about growing, and growth is uncomfortable. Like if we're being honest, it's hard. Like I've cried plenty of times. Like even like on learning and growing. Like I said, growing up, school was always easy to me. But when I got to college, like it was different. It was just like I failed a class in college. Like I've been afraid I was gonna lose my scholarship at times because it's rough, but it's okay to need help. And it's okay to like, you know, ask for that help and to, you know, get better. So I say keep pushing and don't be so hard on yourself and be open and like receptive to like receive help.
So I want to switch gears a little bit. I know you dealt with lung disease. So can you kind of give us more information about your lung disease?
So I have what's called lymphoid interstitial pneumonia. Essentially, it's an idiopathic disease, which just means that like people don't really know where it comes from. It just kind of happens. Like you wake up one day and wow. But a big part of it is like my immune like cells and stuff in my lungs are just kind of overactive, and they kind of attack my lungs. They kind of cause some damage in there. And so even being able to like get a description or actual name of what I have was a struggle. Like I was in college. And like I woke up one day and like, I was coughing a little bit. I was like, okay, probably got a little cold or something. And then like I just kept coughing. I got things that were kind of easy to me, like walking around campus stuff, got a little hard. Like I was out of breath more and stuff like that. And so like I would tell my mama like, hey, something's wrong, like something's going on. So like I went to student health center multiple times, like urgent care, doctor's care, like literally doctor after doctor after doctor for months. And like they all tried to tell me it was something else small, like it was, oh, like, you know, your iron's a little low, so you might be anemic, or, you know, it might be this or it might be that, or we don't really know, but let's give you this. So it was just, people kept telling me that they didn't really know anything. And so kept going to doctors. And finally in December, I went to one doctor who gave me a chest x-ray. I don't know why anybody else do it, because I was coughing and stuff. I feel like I couldn't breathe. But one guy finally gave me a chest x-ray. They thought I had pneumonia. I thought I had really bad pneumonia. So they gave me like a shot of antibiotics, and they sent me home and told me to come back like after the weekend. to see like how I was doing. I came back on that Monday, and they're like, okay, yeah, you need to go to the hospital. And so he basically printed out my chest X-ray, and wrote this letter and had an envelope and gave it to me and said, go right to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, I handed them the stuff. So I was sitting out in the regular area, waiting room type area for a while. And then they called me back. And for a while, I was just kind of sitting in the hallway because they knew that, like, something was wrong. They could see my chest X-ray. They, tried to see how much oxygen I was getting and stuff, and it was low. So they knew something was wrong, but they didn't really have a room for me yet. And I remember being, like, scared. Like, I had to call my mama, and so, like, she was coming over, and I remember, like Eva and Cousin Lorraine and them, they came over, like, just to check in, like, what's going on, type stuff. I was like, I don't know. But I ended up being admitted, and that was right around Christmas. I was in the hospital, I think, for like 5 days then, and they thought it was like a viral pneumonia instead of just like, just a regular bacterial-based pneumonia or something. So I came in the hospital for a while, and they had me on oxygen and stuff, and I was still, coughing, but I couldn't breathe and stuff, even with like me being, hooked up to oxygen and stuff. So they ended up sending me home to see like a actual like pulmonary doctor and stuff in January, and so started going to see them, and had like what's called a bronchoscopy, where they basically stuck a scope down my throat, and they took a little sample and stuff to kind of see what was going on. I didn't give them any questions, and then a couple months later, I ended up having to have an open lung biopsy where I actually had to have surgery. And still, Paramount Health didn't know what it was, so they ended up sending my samples off to the Mayo Clinic. And so finally, they came back with a diagnosis, and so from there, I've just been on immunosuppressive drugs. Prednisone, like a few other, basically just trying to keep my immune system kind of, turned down so that it don't keep attacking my lungs and stuff. So, but yeah, that's it.
I went through something very similar, dealing with abscesses and like going to doctor after doctor. It took years for like a doctor to be able to give me a actual solution to my problem. Like it literally just happened like a couple months ago. So, but you're like one of the people that I thought of because I remember you posting about it and how you like had to keep going to doctors and you were unsure what it was, and I was just like, if she can push through it, then I can push through it too. So I appreciate you. Can you give one piece of advice for people struggling with substance abuse?
So I'd say rule one is take care of yourself. When I was actually going through the process to like actually becoming a Delta, one of my pro-fights, which are, the people that kind of like are already the organizations that are bringing you through, she said to me, like, self-preservation is the first law of nature. And so, like, you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself and doing what you have to do to get better. And, for me, I struggled with that, like, at first, because for the longest, you couldn't tell me I had lung disease. Like, I was like, there's no way. Like, I literally ran track and cross country, like, all throughout middle and high school. Fine. Like, there's no way I have lung disease. And, like, now I can barely walk across campus without coughing. Like, but, like, do what the doctors say. Take care of yourself. Rest when you need to. Know your limits. Another thing I'd say is understand that your illness isn't all of you. Because one thing I struggled with was, like, I would go places or like, talk to people that kind of knew what was kind of going on. I had been in the hospital or whatever, and it would be, how are you? Are you okay? It's like, that was the first thing that everybody said to me. It's like, I wasn't regular Kiwi, I was sick Kiwi. And it would be like, I don't know, it really took a toll on me. Like, even like, at one point, I had gained a lot of weight because of like the steroids I was on. And it's like, everybody would be like, ooh, I got so big. And like, I don't know, it was constant. It was like the first thing that everybody noticed. It was something related to my health or like my illness. And so understanding that, yes, this is a part of you that you have to acknowledge, but this is not all of you. Like, I'm still Kiwi. And, like, just being more okay with, like, recognizing that, you are sick, you have some limitations, but you are still yourself. So I would encourage everybody to, acknowledge it and take it seriously, but also, know that you're still who you are. You're still yourself, and, like, it's okay. You'll get better. So.
Do you think dealing with this lung disease was, like, a turning point in your Christian journey?
So, turning point is, I don't know if I would use that word, I will say that it did change it a lot because, like growing up, we were, I was in the church. I was on the youth choir. I was praise dancing. Like, we came here. My mom was like, all right, wake up, go to church. Type thing. We were coming to church. It was just, that was what I did. And so when I got to college, I did kind of like slip on that. And part of it was, I didn't really have a church in Columbia yet. And to drive to St. Mark, like 45 minutes in the morning was a lot. And so I had already kind of started to like not go to church as much or not, but when I got sick, like I went through this, stage of denial at first, and then like I was very angry. Like it was like, what is happening? Like I'm a 20-something-year-old girl in college. Like I'm supposed to be having fun with my friends, but like instead, like I'm in a hospital bed, or like I'm struggling to walk across campus, or I can't. I feel like I couldn't really just live. And I didn't really understand why this was happening to me. And so like once I got out of the anger, it was like sadness. Like I was just sad. Like I just felt sorry for myself, I guess, in a way. And I remember Pastor Harling coming to the hospital while I was there and like, praying over me and everything. And I kind of started, I guess, to pray more, kinda. I don't know if I would call it exactly praying, because it wasn't like, bow your head and close your eyes, but it was kind of like, I guess for me it was more like internal talk, like talks with the Lord, like just kind of like, okay, like I know things I've read in the Bible. I know that, Lord, and they got me. Like, and honestly, I just kind of became more okay with my situation. If I'm being honest, I even became more okay with death in a way. It was like, I may not make it out of this, and it's okay. Like, I'm okay. Like, but like I got through it, and like I felt like, like God brought me through it. And so from there, I guess the way I viewed like my faith and stuff kind of shifted, because before all that, I was going to church, and I was doing everything in the church because it was kind of like expected. And then I got to college, and it was my decision. But now, for me, it became kind of necessary. Like I felt like, I need to work on this relationship with God, and even like beyond that, I need to, find out what that really means to me. Like, everybody doesn't go to church every Sunday and Bible study every Wednesday and pray 3, 4, 5 times a day or whatever. Like that's not the story for everybody. And so for me, it kind of became a journey for me to figure out, how do I work on building this relationship with God, and like where am I in that journey right now? Like what does that mean for me? And so after that, the whole sickness experience, I really just felt like I said, it's necessary for me to do this. And so like at one point, like my boyfriend and I, like I think it was like last year sometime, we were going to church every Sunday, Bible study every Wednesday over in Columbia. Like it was a thing. Like the Bible app on my phone, I was reading the verse of the day every day. I guess I've become more intentional about my relationship, and like like that doesn't happen all the time. Not like now, especially now, I'm not watching church every Sunday and every Wednesday. I try to every Sunday mostly. I'm pretty good with that. But Bible study every Wednesday, I've slipped up and stuff. But I feel like I understand that, like, God understands our relationship, and like I am still working on that relationship. Like I still, I try to pray as much as I can, and I feel that, God has brought me out of some very, very low points, and like, He got me. Like to say that, like I got sick when I wasn't really going to church like that, and I wasn't really, doing what I was supposed to do, quote unquote. But like He still brought me through that, and so for me, it's kind of changed my outlook, and like it's okay to make mistakes sometimes, but like God got you, and like even now the way I look at like smaller situations, like if I'm very stressed or I'm very overwhelmed or whatever, like my USC ring that I have in it has my favorite Bible verse, and it also says breathe, Kiwi. Because one of the things I try to do now is when I'm really stressed, I'm really overwhelmed, is like ask myself, can I breathe? And if I can breathe, and if I can do that, everything else will be okay. Because there's been a point where I couldn't really take a deep breath without coughing a lot. Like, it was a struggle for me. And like, I made it out of that. And so if I can get through that, then anything else, like, with God on my side, like, I can do it. Like, he got me. Like, I'm good. Right. So I wouldn't say it was like a turning point, but it was kind of like I don't know, being sick was kind of like a crossroads. It's like you can either sit here and like, turn away, or you can, let him, let it kind of bring you closer. And like, I'm happy that it kind of shifted my focus, and I was kind of like more intentional about building that relationship.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you said that really stuck out was like building your own relationship, whatever that looks like for you. Because I feel like us growing up, me also growing up in the church my whole life, we see church as a certain way, like you have to do this, this, and this, and be perfect and do everything this way, and really you're supposed to make mistakes because you're human. So,
right.
But God still has you like you.
Right.
So what piece of advice do you have for keeping people in the forefront, for keeping God in the forefront of your life?
I think that the piece of advice is kind of what we were just talking about, like with finding out what that relationship looks like for you, and like really focusing on strengthening your relationship with God, so that like I guess like y'all kind of have an understanding. Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna sit and tell anybody like you're supposed to be in church every Sunday, read your Bible every day, Bible study, and this and this and that, because some people it like stuff like that is more difficult, but like. What I would encourage, people to understand is that like, your relationship with God is between you and God. Yeah. And it's like, it's not for me or anybody else to tell you what that's supposed to look like. Mm-hmm. I would also encourage you to, read your Bible more, or like, just read like devotionals and stuff more, just so that you're kind of still, you're still getting the word and everything, like for yourself. Like, it's not like somebody's telling you to do it this way and this way and this way. Right. But like, you really have that relationship with God for yourself. Because just speaking from experience, it is pretty necessary. Like it's necessary to have that relationship. Yeah. Because like even in my program now, like I struggled. Like, like my first year, I swore I was gonna drop out. Right. Like it was rough. Yeah. But like even now, and I talked to some of my lab mates and stuff about it, who maybe aren't religious, where they they believe in God, whatever, they don't go to the church or this and that. But like I just tell them that like having God on your side and having that relationship with you, I don't know, I feel kind of like not invincible, but I just feel like I can just do stuff because like I know that like God never said that the weapons wouldn't form. He said that they would prosper. Yeah. So it's like I'll deal with some stuff. I'm gonna struggle, but God got me, and like what is for me is for me, and like. I don't know. I feel that confidence, I guess. And so, like it's, find out what that means for you. Yeah. Find out what that relationship looks like for you. And like through that, I feel like everything else just kind of falls in place. And like you'll just be, more confident in yourself and more like, I don't know. I feel like once you're confident in that relationship, you got it.
Yes, I agree.
Key.
Yeah. To close, I would ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Not in South Carolina. Yes. So I don't want to stay in South Carolina. Yeah. I've been here my entire life. And ready to get on through. Yeah. But hopefully, I will have a job. Yeah. I should finish my program in about 2 years. Yeah. So hopefully sometime in 2022, I will be Dr. Cannon. And, at that point, I really want to get into research. I guess more focused on like health disparities in the Black community. Mm-hmm. So not just from the aspect of, okay, Black people don't go to doctors as much or don't go until it's too late, or because of, a lot of the communities that are, mostly like low income and stuff, they don't have access to quality healthcare and stuff like that. But like, aside from that stuff, I kind of want to look into why, when even those things are kept the same, there are certain like illnesses or diseases that we're still more susceptible to get, or even if we do get them, they're more aggressive. Like, what is it kind of in our programming that makes us more prone to certain things? And so hopefully I'll, do research involving that so that we can kind of work on coming up with more personalized treatments, just more specific to taking into account, like, those aspects behind it. So, yeah, hopefully in 5 years I'm out of here and in a job somewhere making some good money.
Awesome. You'll be in my prayers. So, is there any social media that the people can follow you on to keep up with you?
Yes. So on Facebook, it is Keivy Cannon, Keivy, and then Cannon, Cannon. And on Twitter, it is @loading Dr. Cannon. So yeah, feel free to follow me.
Awesome. Thank you for being our first guest today. And thank you to Reverend Trenton Younginer for coming up with this idea. And thank you to everybody watching. And thank you to Pastor Harling for supporting this idea as well. Always remember, with God, the best is yet to come.